let me ask you this. You're running paid ads, outbound, maybe some content as well, but your funnel still isn't converting. You're probably getting traffic, but not pipeline. Maybe clicks, but no leads, or booked demos, or worse, demos that don't show up. Sound familiar? In the B2B space, the real bottleneck happens after the click. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a scalable B2B funnel that actually works, using a simple framework we build for our clients. I'll break it down today from landing page to lead capture to book demos and show you what to avoid and how to fix it. Not only that, but near the end of this video, I'm going to show you a real scenario and real landing pages used by a company generating millions of dollars a month. So let's get started immediately. So number one thing, landing page recap. I've actually done a video around this already, so I won't dive in too deep, but let's go over the quick fundamentals of a landing page. When it comes to landing page, there's a few things to keep in mind. Number one, what is the headline that you're using? And then what you're doing is balancing different things like trust, value, and the features of your product as well. Along with that, there needs to be a reason for your landing page, and that's why we have CTA plus call to actions at the end, so you can capture low intent folks and high intent folks that are willing to book a demo. So when it comes to headlines, make sure these are strong and they address any pain points that your prospects might have. And then for trust, value, features, like I said, I've already made a video around this, and near the end here, you'll see in a second, we're going to go over the real life example of a company called Deal. So let's jump back up to landing page. So as long as you have all these fundamentals covered, and if you don't, please go and watch the other video after watching this one. So now that you have your landing page optimized, now let's talk about your CTA strategy. Biggest thing that I've seen people mess up here is when it comes to their call to action, they have one extremely aggressive call to action and not multiple. So when you have one, for example, book a demo, it is very high friction. So what you want to do is firstly, change your call to actions throughout the page to capture high intent, or use something like get started, or use something like a lower intent, which is just watching the demo, or downloading a playbook, or giving them some free value. So you're welcome to do that to capture the attention from low intent users coming onto the website. When you do have a call to action, for example, let's say it is book demo, what you need to ask yourself is, why should they actually go ahead and book that demo in the first place? You need to give them some value. Are you going to provide a catered demo to them based on the questions that they answer? Or are you going to provide them with a free audit of where they are right now and how your product can help them get to a different point in their business? There needs to be something there of value so you can incentivize people coming over to your landing page to take that next step. I've actually seen some companies, for example, Rippling does this for their advertising strategy. They mentioned that, hey, we will give you a $50 to $100 gift card if you attend this demo. And the idea there is their target audience is so niche in their ads, they have the right target audience, so they want to just get their product in front of people, and then eventually down the road as their company gets bigger and bigger, then they're going to consider Rippling as the option. So like I said, two fixes here. One is multi-CTA, and the second one is adding value to the call to actions, especially the high intent call to actions you have. Okay, segment number 3, this is now lead capture questions, okay? So I have an example here that I actually just built out, and I'm actually sharing this as an example because we've had one of our clients go ahead and do this with their landing page. We were helping them out with advertising, but on their landing page, they had a call to action, which would then pop up and ask questions like the ones that we see on the left-hand side here. So they're asking things like first name, last name, email, phone, industry, company, organization count, challenge that they're having, start date, blah, 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 questions. If someone sees that on the website, they are not going to want to fill out the actual lead form. So number one thing to mention here is please make your lead form and ask the right questions, and only the ones that you need to kick off the sales process. So first thing is reducing the number of questions. And then the second thing is have a flow to your lead page. So for example, on the right-hand side that you see page 1, and we have page 2. So just in the beginning, you ask a few questions, and then after you qualify them even more. And the intention of doing this is if they fill out page 1 of the lead form, you have their name, email, and maybe just fundamental data that you might need so you can perform outreach, right? Or start a email campaign. So this gives you just enough information because they came to the website and they filled out just a little bit of information. They haven't booked a call yet, but you have enough to go ahead and retarget them. Whether it's outreach, SDR reaching out, or it's an email campaign. Hey, notice you showed some interest on our website. Did you want to book a demo? Here's what we're going to go over the demo. Here's what we are going to go over in the demo. And then let's say they do go ahead and fill out page number 2, then they're prompted to book a demo. So what you see is the quality of the lead here increasing and the intent of the lead increasing, right? So if they fill out page 1 of the form, and then you have page 2, and then you have book demo, right? Ideally you want this, but not everyone's going to do that right away. Some people might just do page 1. If that's the case, you email or call them. If they fill out page 2, but they didn't book a demo, same thing, email plus call. If they book a demo, right, you still want to do the same thing, email plus call. And I'll tell you guys about this. I'll tell you guys why you should do this as well. But the more touch points you can have essentially with the prospect, the larger likelihood you have to actually close them as well. So this sets up fundamentally a very successful funnel that you have. And let me tell you a little bit more about how to implement this now. So coming over to the sales journey, which will allow you to capture low intent and high intent plus retarget at the same time. So what this looks like in practice is, let's say they come to your landing page, they take a look, they understand the value, they understand your features, they have social proof that they've seen, and they actually go ahead and click on a call to action to get started. So imagine them coming to a page. This is why I have this, which is called Get Started. And then this is where they're filling out their qualification information, name, email, just basic information. Then they go within that page to page number 2, which allows you to do your email sequences. And then if they were high intent and they really want to use your product, right, then they can go ahead and book a demo. And the idea of the demo, these are high intent individuals. The point of the page when you get them to book demo is you want to give them some reason or some value to go ahead and book that demo, right? Whether you're doing an audit, whether you're going to go over their current structure, whatever it is for your business and whatever your product can solve, you want to cover that, cater just to them as well. That's just one idea. So then once they've actually booked the demo, then you take them to another page called /thank you page. This is now where a prospect has filled out their information. So they've shown interest. Then they've gone ahead and booked a demo as well. And now what you want to show them is, now they're on the thank you page. So you want to show them case studies, recap what you're going to be doing on that demo as well, what they can expect. And if there's any other bonus items as well you want to add on, you're welcome to do that on that page. But the idea of the thank you page there is to build more trust as well, and make sure they actually show up to the demo call that they've booked as well. Because there's going to be drop off after people book, right? So usually in this space, you never know, but only 80 to 90% of people will actually show up. Sometimes for some folks, it's actually only 50%, right? Depends on industry, depends on product, depends how well of a job you did up here on the thank you page here too. So this point I wanted to highlight is scalability. right? So let's say you are generating traffic through advertising, right? You might have people ingest through home, or maybe you're doing cold email outreach plus ads, bam, you have landing page 1, landing page 2, landing page 3. You have different case studies. You essentially have different mechanisms for people to then be ingested into the same flow that you have. So what ends up happening is these pages here that I just showed you, get started, book demo, and thank you, this stays static, right? So your conversion funnel is robust, static as well. And then you can have these different mechanisms, whether it's industry pages, whether it's certain pain points that you're solving, whether it is case studies that you're using, whether it's lead magnets that you have, everything just comes to one flow, and that flow stays static, which means you can scale your entry point, those front doors, and then have them all go down the same path. This is the reason this entire process I just covered is critical. Now, let's jump into this, right? I've taught you sort of high level what things you need to be doing, what this ideal funnel looks like. So what I want to do now is cover a company called Deal, right? As an example for everyone to understand, how is this being used in practice? And this is going to be critical here. So let's get started. You can see my screen. We have a few different inputs that I'm going to go over here, and we're going to go over their flow essentially. So this is a landing page. I literally just went online on Google, searched up Deal, and the first ad that I saw for Deal, I clicked on. Okay, so this is one of their landing pages. So let's zoom in. Now we're talking landing page first, right? You can see, easy to understand, and they have a watch demo with a play button with a time to watch is just 2 minutes. If you go on their website, this part actually here changes to things like payroll, invoices, blah, blah, blah. And you can see what they're doing here. They're actually building trust up here at the top. Remember, I talked about trust value. So trust, and then they have value of it being secure as well. Their call to action sticks around, get a free 30-minute demo. Think about the difference between get demo versus free demo versus get a free 30-minute demo, right? It tells them it's only 30 minutes, it's free as well, and they're getting something. So psychologically, people are going to want to click on this. Remember I talked about the original idea? If we go all the way up to the top, let's take a second to do that actually, just as a reminder. Headline, right? They're crushing it on that. Trust, value, features, call to actions. That is it. So now we're going to come all the way down to the page as well and go over what Deal is doing. What is this? Trust through social proof. Right? They're showcasing that they have worked with so many different types of well-known companies out there. And in fact, this is a scrolling, if you go take a look at their website, right? So now we're getting into features here, back to trust. Why? Because this is testimonials, right? More trust and features, more features plus value, more features plus value. And actually, funny enough, if you go click on this call to action, it will take you to their guides page. So then you can go read a little bit more about their company and who they've helped and how they've helped. So this is quite interesting as well. Let's keep it going. Again, more features, value, trust combined together, right? And then you keep going down this page, how the process works in 3 steps. Then you have additional trust value trust and social proof, right? Bam, social proof. So you can see it's literally just a balancing act of all the same things that I mentioned. And then you'll notice they have call to action, call to action, call to action all over. Learn more. They have get started, book 30-minute demo, and speak to sales. Here's where it gets interesting. So if we take a look at this call to action versus speak to sales call to action, some people might just want the demo. Some people might want to talk to sales, right? You're kind of qualifying low intent, high intent. The interesting part is if you hit get free demo, here's what happens. this pops up as a widget. All you're putting in here, first name, last name, work email, company size, and HQ. I think if you select company size or HQ, something triggers as a conditional question as well. So very limited in terms of the questions that they are asking. And then immediately choose date and time. Now, let's say you went back and clicked on talk to sales or speak to sales. You just go to a different page with the same questions, right? So this is the interesting part. And it seems to be working out quite well for them. But here you can take a look. Yes, this is sort of that get started page I was talking about. Same number of questions here, easy, choose, and that's it on their website. They have a left side hero here, which is reminding them what deal has done and giving them some sort of understanding and something visual to why they should book a demo, because people will drop off on this page after clicking on it. And then all they have at the bottom is just the companies that they've also worked with as a subtle reminder that, hey, continue to book your demo. So now what happens is you click on this button here, which is choose time and date. You come and choose your time right here, super easy. They're using cal.com. So bam, then you go book. And then your meeting is scheduled. So I just scheduled this meeting with Zach. I've actually talked to Deal already. Zach, I hope you don't mind that I'm booking another demo with you. Interesting part here at the top, conversion tracking is critical here. So look, it literally says request a demo. That's the page, and sales equals true, right? So they're using conversion tracking because you want to track conversion for every single stage that they get to, right? So if it's get started, right? And then they have book demo. And then thank you. So someone who fills a lead form will go to book demo. That means they've filled out lead form, right? So you have a lead capture here. If they have then booked a demo actually on the website, then they go to the thank you page. So now you have a demo booked. What you should be tracking here are two very important things, which is cost per lead, cost per demo booked. So let's get back into the example that we have here. This is just Deal's like super easy way of their sales journey, right? There's obviously areas where they can expand on this as well, but this is what they've chosen to use at the moment. So this seems to work for them, but there's a lot of areas where, hey, they're not really nurturing here after someone has booked a call. It's just like booked a call, great, let's see what happens. I know for a matter of fact, because I've gone through their funnel, even once you book that demo, there's going to be email sequences as a reminder of come to the call. They might even ask questions. You might even call them as well. So at every single stage here, right? Let's say they got here, get started, and they became a lead. Email plus call is available. Let's say they booked a demo actually. Email plus call is available. And remember, if they booked a call, you are nurturing on the spot. Same thing with email call. This is nurture even after they booked a demo. So it starts to get a little bit more complex here. And is it worth it or not is the question you should be asking yourself at the same time. So if your funnel isn't converting, the problem usually isn't the traffic. It's what happens after the click. Fix those landing pages, offer better call to actions, capture those leads smartly, and then guide them through a consistent and scalable sales journey that matches their intent. Now, if you want help mapping this out, this is exactly what we do at Roveir. We build full funnel systems that turn traffic into qualified pipeline with deals that actually close. So hit the link in the description and let's talk about how we can scale your acquisition right away. And of course, this is YouTube. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this. And remember, for a detailed video on landing pages, we'll put that somewhere up on the screen here.